Hi, guys. Welcome to the Mr. Mortgage Podcast, where tonight we got special guest Kevin Cartwright with Joe Hall Roofing. He's going to be answering some questions about how to hire a contractor, how to avoid getting scammed, and just pretty much all around what's involved with your roof and getting those items taken care of. So stay tuned. We'll be right with you. All right. Hey, guys. This is Kevin Cartwright with Joe Hall Roofing. All right, Kevin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, brother. How you doing? Good to see you again. Yeah, so I'm Kevin. I work with Joe Hall Roofing and Contracting. Myself, I grew up in North Arlington, went to Lamar High School. After I got out of college, first 20 years work, I was with the YMCA, worked in Dallas and Arlington. And then about 8 years ago, I left the Y, did a couple other things and got into the roofing industry. I've been in the roofing business for going on 6 years now. First two, I was with the company out of Carrollton. We'll talk more about that later. But now I'm with a great company locally. Oh, look at that.
Other side.
There you go. I got it now somehow. There you go. There you go. I'm with a great company, Joe Hall Roofing and Contracting. Joe Hall is a local company in Arlington. It's been there since 1989.
Legendary.
Good old Papa Joe himself. Joe sold it to his oldest son, Brett, and his wife, Tina. So they're the president and owners now, recently, currently, that is. Brett's been with the company since the beginning. The younger of the two Hall brothers, Derek, is also with us. He's been there for 20 years. It's a family-owned business. Actually, the grandson, Jackson, is going to graduate from Arkansas, whoop, whoop, here in a few weeks, and he's going to be involved in business. So going on the 3-year generation family business, well-known in Arlington, do great work. Very, very reliable company. We have some of the best workers in the industry, some of the best crews in the industry. So it's been a pleasure working with them for the past 3 years, and nothing but the best going forward. So that's a little bit about me and about Joe Hall. Here,
the other side. There you go.
Joe Hall Roofing, yes.
You're better at roofing than pointing, I hope.
Well, I mean, if I can get the whole opposite thing going,
yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So, I've known about Joe Hall for a long time. I've lived in Arlington for a long time, and I've been involved in roofing for a long time as well. And Joe Hall is just, I've never met anybody that had a bad word or anything negative to say about Joe Hall. And that's rare. That's rare to have a company that's been around for that long. One that tells you a lot about the company, right? That's been around for 30 plus years, and you got 3 generations of families still working there that are still running the company. Man, that's awesome. You know what? There's not too many companies that still do that these days.
Oh, there's not. And the thing about it, not only have the family been in the business for 30 plus years, but our crews, we've had a crew member. We've had some of our crews have been there for about 25, 30 years as well. So we've had crews to where the father started off, and now the son's taking over the crews, and so
generations.
When we say we do quality work, we mean we really stand behind the quality work that we do, because we got some great people. We have really great people in the industry, and when you're looking for people in the construction industry, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for people who, one, you can trust, and there's going to be there long term.
Right. Well, that's true though, because they may come and do the work, but what happens, next year or year down the road where, maybe something you have an issue with whatever was installed. Who are you going to call if the guy's not around anymore? You know what I'm saying? But the other thing is, which you're talking about how with the workers and having, the son come in, that's taking over for the father. Listen, nobody's staying around that long, with a company without being a great place to work.
Yep, exactly.
There's just so listen, especially here in Texas, and that's always a difficult thing is to have your workers and contractors you work with and everything to stick around, right? And for people to because there's just there's so many other options for people to work, but to have those people stay there for as long as they have, and that speaks volumes about the company. And again, like I said, I've never heard a bad word about Joe Hall, and everything I've heard has just been it's been excellent. So, and that was one of the reasons why I said, hey, listen, not only hey, me and Kevin, we go back a long time. Our girls played soccer together way back in the day. Last week we talked about coaching the soccer.
Oh, my first assistant coach I ever had.
That's right. I was assistant coach. And listen, I'm a football guy. I don't know anything about soccer, but we were out there and man, it was a blast. I mean, I had a great time, and it was just a wonderful opportunity to be there with the girls and while they're having fun playing soccer or whatever, but also going to daddy-daughter dances and all of that stuff, and that's special. And those are really special things now. Now the girls, they don't have the daddy-daughter dances anymore. So and now they're getting too old, man. They're just getting too old, and we're getting too old. But yeah, back to the back to hiring contractors that are that's going to be there and they're reputable contractors. Listen, in Texas, every year storms come through, and those storms also bring out predators, right? The guys are just down here fly by night, and I see them all the time, right? So when the storm comes through, the easiest way to spot them is, you look at their license plate, right?
Yep.
They'll have out-of-state license plates. You're like, there you go. Those are guys just down here scavenging to get some work done and stuff. And unfortunately, a lot of people get scammed because they just don't know what to do, how to hire a contractor. And again, with the upcoming, storm season, that's why we brought you on. As a matter of fact, I have a video here to watch. Basically, just going to give you some insight or a reminder of what we see, pretty much on a yearly basis.
Right.
Here we go here. Wow. Man, that's crazy.
It happens every year.
That's crazy.
The thing about it, like you said, what happens is because we have, the thing about Texas in our area, especially North Texas, is that we know that there's going to be storms every year.
Yeah, it's like clockwork.
It's going to be every year. Now, when you live in the North Texas area, somewhere in North Texas, we're going to get hit by a big hailstorm. It may not be in Mansfield or Arlington. It could be up north or things of nature, but we're going to get hit every year. And then when we get hit, the thing about our industry is that because insurance covers a lot of the loss, there's a lot of money out there for projects. And so that brings out predators, and that brings out people not only locally, like the man we just saw in the video, but there's people from out of state, and they come in because they know they can come in, they can make a lot of money really quick, and they can get out.
Right. So
it's really important that you as a consumer is that you do your due diligence about who you hire, who you agree to go with, because if you don't, you can be like one of those people. And I actually knew this story before it aired, and getting ripped off for $300,000. People accumulated for $300,000 in loss of money spent and no work done. That's not a good feeling. So
not at all.
To go over some things that you should look out for when you're looking to hire a contractor, because when you're bringing someone into your house to do major work, and let's not kid about, we're talking about roof. The roof is the most important thing to protect your house. And if that's damaged and you go a cheap route, you're going to get cheap results. And ultimately that's going to cost you a lot more money down the road. So I'll tell all my clients and tell all my friends and say, you really got to vet the process, and not just vet the company, but you got to vet the entire process
Right.
when you're looking at hiring contractors. So I got a sheet I want to share and just go over that just a little bit and just talk about some do's and don'ts when you're looking at hiring some contractors, because ultimately the person that's going to do your work, you want to make sure that they're going to do the work the right way. They'll give you the quality that you need, and most importantly, they're going to be there after the fact, because
Right.
people think about you're getting a new roof. They think of the build day. They think of you putting the roof on, the crew's out there, it's really hectic, and then they leave and you got a new roof, and you ain't got to worry for 25 to 30 years or 25 to lifetime, depending on what warranty you have.
Right.
Not the case. So what happens if you hire the wrong contractor and you got problems down the road? You're gonna be in some serious trouble. You're gonna be out a lot of money. You're gonna be out of pocket a lot of money, and you're gonna be very frustrated. So some things that when I tell all my customers, we have a sheet. I'll share that with you here now. But it's a good information that you can use when you're looking for an actual contractor. So I'm gonna pull this up here. Paul, let me know when it's up for everybody.
There it is. Okay.
Is it up?
There we go.
Okay, perfect. So what we're talking about is usually right after a storm, and we just had, North Texas, we had Snowvid-19,
Yeah.
2021, whatever we're calling it. And so a lot of people are out hiring contractors for pipe and pool repair, things of that nature. And this can apply for that process as well as you're talking about a roofing project. So one thing we talk about is when a storm hits, the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna assess your damage. And so a lot of people don't respond to a roofing issue until they see a visible leak in their house. And that gives them an indication that, hey, I got something wrong with my roof. Well, I'll tell everybody, I go, after a hailstorm comes through or a major windstorm comes through, and we all know that it happens, especially here in the spring in Texas, you need to get your roof checked out. And so when you get your roof checked out, things that you want to look out for is you want to get someone that you know is going to be able to, you want to, if someone goes on your roof, and I tell people this all the time, after a big storm hits, you're going to have what we call door knockers. And in our industry, that's just part of it. And I know a lot of people don't like door knockers, but you know what? That's where most of our work comes from, because people don't want to deal with their roof unless they have an actual leak. So if I'm out at a project and I'm working at your neighbor's house and I see how much damage your neighbor has, yeah, I'm going to walk over there, knock on your door and say, hey, if you want to, we'd be glad to check it out. No, there's no, we're not saying that you have to you have to agree to anything. We're just going to check your roof for you, make sure there's no damage. So if a person comes by their door knocking and you want them to get on the roof, let them get on the roof, because when people get on the roof, they can find out what damage is, and your roof looks very different on your roof than on the ground level. You can't know what damage you have on your roof from the ground level unless you have missing shingles, things of that nature. So if you have a door knocker or anybody that comes out and check your roof, you want to make sure that first of all, let them come up and check it. In most companies, if not all companies, they will do a free inspection. So if they're doing a free inspection, let them come out and do a free inspection and tell you what they found. Now, what you have to be careful is a lot of contractors will try to do we want you to sign a contingency agreement with us, which means that they will help you out. They'll do an inspection. If you need tarping, they'll help you with tarping, but they want you to sign a contract that says if your roof gets bought, they will be your contractor. Well, you don't want to do that, because you as a consumer, you want to make sure that you know all the ins and outs of what's going on with your roof process. So we always encourage you to get multiple bids, okay? So if you get someone on your roof, they go on your roof and they tell you that you have some damage, that's fine. You also want to get a second opinion, okay? So after you find out that you have damage, whether you have a leak or whether someone gets up and said there's hail damage, then that's the time for you to file a claim. Okay, a couple of tips to this is that when you file a claim, you want to make sure that you got all the pertinent information that your insurance carrier needs. Insurance carriers are different. All states different from State Farm. State Farm's different from USAA, and so forth and so on. So you want to make sure you understand your policy, and that comes with reading your policy. You got to read what your policy will cover, what it won't cover. Okay. So after you figure out that you need to file a claim, then you want to make sure that you get the proper information. That proper information is a date of loss, and that's very, very important in the state of Texas now, is a date of loss. Because it used to be that back in the day, you would have 24, 18 months to file a claim after a major storm came through. Now insurance companies are backing it up. They backed up from 24 to 18 to 16. Now some of them are doing 12 months. Okay, wow. So you need to understand that. How much time do you have to file a claim? Okay.
So what happens? So just for instance, what happens if someone that time expires? What happens with the insurance, or what happens with the coverage?
If your time expires from the date of loss and you pass the allotted time your insurance company says you have to file, well, they basically they can deny your claim. They can say that the roof, yes, there's damage to the roof, but because you waited so long, the roof's not covered. Because again, as a homeowner, you are guaranteeing that you will take care of regular maintenance. So if you have damage to your roof, you're agreeing to take care of that damage before it gets to the point that it's major damage. If you let those 12 months pass, your insurance company can, and they will, and they will deny your roof. Now you have a roof that is no longer covered under your home insurance policy, and any repair that comes after that will come out of pocket, completely out of pocket. And if you develop a leak, and that leak messes with your paint, messes with your appliances, messes with your carpet, because when you get a leak in your house, you never know what it's going to affect.
Right.
Things are no longer covered because you waited too long to file your claim.
Wow.
And it didn't happen as much in the past, but because we're Texas and we get hit with storms and hurricanes and things of that nature, tornadoes all the time, insurance companies are doing what they have to do to protect themselves. Because let's not kid anybody, at the end of the day, your insurance company is in the business of making money.
Right.
They make money from premiums and not paying out premiums.
Right.
That's just a basic rule of business. It's not that they're doing anything illegal. It's not that they're doing anything unethical.
They're not a not-for-profit.
Exactly. They're doing what they have. They're doing. Your adjusters are adjusting to the scope of loss based on that insurance company. Okay. So when you call your insurance company, you want to know your date of loss, because that starts the clock for your claim. Okay. You also want to know what type of damage you have. Do you have wind damage? Do you have hail damage? In Texas, if you're filing a claim based on wind damage because you had a couple of blown shingles, more than likely they're not going to cover that, because in Texas, most insurance policies, and again, what I'm saying, you really need to check with your insurance carrier to double check, but most insurance companies will not cover a roof for wind damage unless it's 30 to 50% complete blow off. So if you got a couple of spots here and there, they're not going to cover that. Okay. So make sure you know what you're filing for. In Texas, during the spring, if you have a hail storm, you want to file for hail damage. Okay. Now, next thing you want to do is you want to do your research, and you do your research on the company that you're going to let come onto your roof. We always, the North Texas Roofing Contractor Association always believes you should hire local. Why? Because if something happens after the fact, you can get a hold of your local contractor. Hire somebody out of state, good luck. Okay. So if you get somebody out of state or anybody and they're pressuring you to sign now, you got to sign now, you got to do this now, don't do it. You don't have to. It's your home. We'll make sure that you're comfortable with it. Okay. You can go to your local BBC. You can go to the North Texas Roofing Contractor Association for reviews, advice. Do your research. Make sure you know who you're hiring. Okay. Make sure the company has general liability insurance. A lot of companies will ask for full payment up front. Don't do that. Okay. A reputable company will take a simple deposit, will do the work, and they'll bill you afterwards. If you're getting pressured for someone to pay you all up front, that's a red flag and you should walk away. Okay.
Right. That guy's scamming people for $300,000 and is going to end up in prison, hopefully.
Yep. That guy. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And you really have to be careful of that, because what happens is people, they get the mindset that they're not messing with your money. They're messing with the insurance money. Well, no, that's not right.
Right.
Insurance money is your money. Okay. Most important thing is since House Bill 2012 passed 2 years ago, it used to be that roofing contractors could do things to help you with your deductible. Well, let me back up. That never was the case, but it never was enforced. So for so many years, the last 15, 20 years in Texas, people would get the roofs done and your contractors, your roofing companies would waive your deductible. So you're getting a roof without coming out of pocket. But here's really what's happening. The roofing company would then turn around and try to upcharge your insurance company on what we call supplements. Or they will do cheap work. Either they give you cheap material, they won't replace everything that's supposed to be replaced. They will take all your extra damage, such as if you got paid for your fence, if you got paid for your grill, if you got paid for your window screens, they wouldn't do that work, and they would take that money and put it towards the job itself. So what happens is you're not coming out of pocket, but you're not getting all your loss covered.
Right.
Taking major shortcuts. And at the time, it doesn't seem that big of a deal, but it's going to be a big deal later on.
Well, that's a good point that you make, though, because it's not just about your roof, right? When there's a hailstorm that comes through, it's not just your roof that's getting damaged. Just like you said, and a lot of people, they wouldn't know that. Hey, my grill was damaged, and the insurance should cover that. Or if the insurance company left it off, right? Or
Exactly.
like the window screens, or even your garage door. All of those things, your fence, your AC, the vents on your AC unit.
Yep.
A lot of people don't even realize, hey, listen, I'm just looking to get the, my roof replaced, as opposed to, actually being made whole from, before the damage. That's a good point. Yeah.
Exactly right. And that's what a lot of people, they fail to realize, is because they're worried about the roof. But whatever damage happens to your house, it doesn't get better. The damage is going to be there, and you're going to have to deal with it eventually. That's just the fact of life. If you have damage to your house, to your roof, you don't deal with it, eventually you're going to have to deal with it.
Right.
So a lot of times people will do this, and then they would just, hey, I just don't want to pay out of pocket, so just give me a roof.
Right. Yeah, I had somebody here on the chat said also fences and gutters. Yeah, all of that. All of that.
Yep. And so it's very important, once you file your claim, that the process goes to where, when your insurance company sends out an adjuster, and what happens is any roofer that's getting on your roof, or any contractor getting on your roof, majority of the time, we're not licensed adjusters. Okay. Only licensed adjusters can make the call what type of damage it is. Now, we know what hell looks like. We know what the damage hell will leave, and we can tell you confidently that that's damage.
Right.
But I can't make that call as not a licensed adjuster. They have to make that call. So it's very important that when you work with your contractor, and goes to tip selecting your contractor, you want to make sure you know exactly what work you're going to get done. You want to make sure that your contractor knows what work you needs done. You want to make sure your contractor is in step with your insurance carrier every step of the way. Because what happens is, if you call me as your contractor, I want to be there for your adjusters meeting. Some contractors don't want to be there for your adjusters meeting, but the adjuster meeting is so important in this process. Once you file your claim, they will set an adjuster meeting date. You need to make sure that you connect with your contractor and say, hey, I want you there for my adjusters meeting. Do they have to be there for your adjusters meeting? No, but here's an important reason for them to be there for your adjusters meeting. Your adjuster, on-site adjuster, will make the recommendations for what damage it is. They may not make the final call, may go to another desk adjuster, but they make that call. So if your contractor is there, your contractor they are representing you as a homeowner. They're not representing the insurance company.
Right.
They're going to ask, and they're going to point out every piece of damage that you possibly have. Why? Because as a homeowner, you're paying for that coverage. You should get your coverage. You should get what you paid for. Get all the damage covered that's there. All right.
Yes,
Also,
that's right. Absolutely. And that goes back to the point we were talking about before, the outside furniture, your gutters, your garage door, all those things. And you know what? During a hailstorm, these guys are busy. They're getting on roof to roof to roof, and they can miss things. And they can miss things pretty easily. And
oh yeah.
you're right, if you don't have somebody there representing you and making sure that everything that should be covered is covered. Yeah, it's important to have somebody there to do that. Absolutely.
And that's exactly right. A lot of adjusters, especially when you get a heavy storm and we're in the middle of storm season, they may have 3 or 4 jobs they have to look at on a daily basis. And so they go in and they're looking at the roof, and they might give the roof, and then they just want to write it and get done.
Right.
And so as your contractor can ask those questions. They can point out that extra damage that's there. And sometimes we have to debate, I would say, with the adjuster whether the roof is actually completely damaged or just partially damaged.
Right.
What we're there for, we're there to fight for you. Okay.
Right.
So the last thing we want, when we're on a roof, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. We want to get that roof bought. We don't want to do just a partial repair for you, because what happens if we do a partial repair, the roof is a complex system. So if that system, like a chain, if that's broken somewhere and you got to kind of repair it, it's never going to be as strong as it originally was. So we want to get a complete roof bought for you, and when we get all the other damage covered for you. So it's also important when you're looking at hiring someone to do your job, don't just hire a roofer. You want to hire a contractor who can do multiple trades. You want to hire a company that can do your gutters if you need your gutters, do your window screens if you need window screens, to do exterior painting, fences, to do interior painting, drywall. You have damage in there. So choose a contractor, not just a roofer. It's also very important to choose a contractor because your contractor can leverage the damage to your insurance company, meaning that if you hire a roofer, your roofer will just do the roof work. If you hire a contractor, well, we have subs that specialize in different areas. We can get better rates than what you can by trying to do it piecemeal. Right. Or if you use a roofer that doesn't know anybody, well, you're going to pay very high prices. So go with a contractor, a general contractor that can get a lot of work, a lot of your trades done with that one claim. Mm-hmm. Also, they can do things by maximizing your claim, meaning that we can get the most work for you at the best price. So it's very important for homeowners, because every homeowner wants to get the most value for their dollars as possible. Okay. And then after you do that, you pick the contractor, you really want to make sure that you don't just quickly sign the paperwork to get it done. Sit down with your contractor, go over everything, make sure you both are in agreement what work's going to be done, what work's not going to be done, and make sure you have a signed copy of your final contract. Okay. And then after that, enjoy your roof. If done right, then you're going to have a roof that's going to last you for 10, 15, 20 years. Now, we are in Texas.
Right.
The likelihood of your roof lasting 10, 20 years may not happen because we get hit with a lot of storms. Your manufacturer warranty covers basically perfect conditions. Once you get a hailstorm and that roof is damaged, then the warranty no longer covers it.
Right.
So that's some things you need to look at when you're hiring. You're looking at a contractor.
Okay, so let's go back and just go over what kind of what you were talking about. First thing is data loss.
Data loss.
Right? So first thing we want to make sure is that we know when the storm happened, what the data loss was. What if I don't know what the data loss was? What if I forgot?
Well, what you can do is a lot of we have in our day and age of apps and computers and instant instant information. There's a lot of websites out there that they're called hail tracker websites. Okay, and you go and you can find out what hailstorms hit that certain area, and it's important to do that because you want to have the right data loss. Okay, a lot of people used to just kind of go, I had a storm here, I'll just wait, another storm will hit next year. That could happen.
Right.
More than likely, what's going to happen is, let's say if you're here in Central Arlington and then a storm hits in North Arlington, and you want to file a claim based on that storm in North Arlington, well, the map will show, well, yeah,
Insurance companies have that same map.
but it didn't happen in your area, so you can't file for that storm. So it's very important to know the date of loss. It used to be that you can just whatever, but no. You have to know that date of loss.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, the insurance companies have they have access to those same things, and they can say, well, yeah, but it didn't hit your house.
Exactly.
There was a storm, but
contractors. Yep, your insurance company has that same information. That's important. That's important to know. So what happens? Let's say if you wait 2 years, 3 years down the road, and you go back and you say, "Hey, I want to file a claim." Well, now you have extensive damage, and your insurance company won't cover that.
Right.
And now you got to figure out how to come out of pocket, to cover the roof, and that's not cheap. That's not a cheap process.
Right. On average, what is just kind of a standard roof? What does a standard roof cost just to replace? Would you say?
Yeah, there's base prices for like shingles. Our shingles prices come from our distributor, and right now, let's not kid anybody, because of everything that's going on, we've seen a 20 and 30% increase in shingle prices. Okay, so we usually go by the bundle. Right, so a square. So depending on how big your house is, if you got a 50 square house,
right,
you look at probably 65, 70 for the materials, and then you're looking about 65, 70 for the labor. Now that all depends, your pitch, things of that nature, whatever other damage you have. You also have to look at, especially if you're looking at older houses, when you go up to replace a roof, well, you have to make sure that everything's up to code. So your decking may be not up to code, so you have that up to code. So there's a lot of different things that goes into the pricing of a roof. You have your quote ballpark figure. That's why it's important to make sure you get the proper bid, not only just from one company, but from a company, because you want to look at it. You really want to make sure that people are giving you the right cost, and they're not trying to make a killing off of you.
Well, the other thing is, look,
they want to make a killing off of you.
What you just said is like, hey, listen, you have to know what's code, right? Because you have to know. The homeowner, they're never going to know any of this stuff, right? They're not going to know what's up to code. They're not going to know, hey, what type of shingle do I have on there, and am I getting a comparable shingle? Is this not to code? So if you just had somebody that said, hey, you got the lowest price roofer that said, hey, I'm going to replace your roof for the lowest price. Yeah, he may replace your roof for the lowest price, but he may not be doing it in code, up to code. He may not be giving you the same like material that's going back on there. There's a lot of things on there and again, that's why it is important to get somebody, to hire somebody that knows what to look for, knows what they're talking about. Like you said, hey, listen, this is a different pitch roof. And then if the insurance doesn't pay it, is that roofer gonna, is he gonna come back out to you to ask for the money?
Right.
Where does or did
it's going to come from somewhere? Someone's going to pay for it.
That's right. Somebody's that's right.
Somebody's going to pay for it.
Your roof's off. You don't have any shingles on your roof, and he's got you over a bucket. You're like, okay, now what?
Yep. And that's so important that that's why it's important to hire the right company that will be able to work with you and explain everything, answer every question you have. Again, to show you everything to make sure that you're comfortable with the process.
Right.
They always say you get what you pay for. In this industry, it's true. If you go with someone with a very, very, very extraordinary cheap price, I don't care what they say. I don't care if they go, oh, it's a fall special, or it's this, it's that. If you're getting a very, very cheap price, you're getting cheap work.
Right.
They're cutting corners somewhere.
Right.
And you're going to see that down the road.
Right. And when you're hiring a contractor, cheaper is not always better.
Cheap is not always better.
Because the thing is that's like the roof is what protects your whole house from the elements. And if one thing is off, you could have a water leak and not even know it. And it could be leaking for who knows how long. And, then you got mold in the roof, and you got, water damage. You don't know where it's coming from. And it's, there's just too many variables that if you don't have the right person that knows what they're doing, then it could cost you way more way more in the future.
Yep.
So
And you really want to hire you want to hire a well-known company like Joe Hall, because we can work with you through the entire process. And when we start the process, when we sign the contract, that doesn't end the process. The process gets done when we finish the build. Now, if you're on a build and no one really knows what's underneath your shingles until we tear that stuff off.
right.
We tear it off and we find some extra damage there. If you're not working with a contractor who knows how to go for supplements, insurance company, well, someone's going to pay for that extra damage. The extra damage has to get paid. If you have to replace OSB boards, if you have to replace the entire deck, if you got to do certain things, and it wasn't in the contract because no one knew about it, because you don't know what you know until you tear that roof off. So once you tear it off and you start seeing extra damage, you got to work with the right contractor, because we can go back and supplement, back charge your insurance company, and they will pay it if you do it the right way.
Right.
You just go up and go, hey, there's some extra damage, give me some extra money. No. You got to make sure there's a documentation process, there's a bidding or estimate process, and so forth. You got to work with the person and make sure that gets covered, because if they do the work the right way, they should take care of the work. Well, then someone's going to pay for it.
That's right.
To me, I'd rather my insurance company pay for it instead of me pay for it.
Right.
You're working with the wrong company, that's not going to happen.
That's right.
They either won't do it and you'll have more problems later on, or they'll do it and they'll charge you directly.
Or just cut corners to do it.
Yep, exactly. So you need to make sure you work with the company who knows everything from the rooter to the tutor. Make sure you know the process from the start to the finish.
Right. Man, that's absolutely, that's important, man. Because like I said, man, everything, everything is that protects everything. Man, you're throwing me off with that Bears cup, man.
Go Bears. Yep. Yeah, but I see your Cowboys behind. It's okay. All right.
You're throwing me off, man.
Yep.
So there's a question on here from Diane, says that price per square foot includes labor, but guess these is 100. There's 100 kinds of shingles, so it's hard to price. So I guess she's asking that, if you don't know, you don't know. And as a homeowner, you can't go up and just look at a shingle and know you
have no idea. And here's the thing, like, we work with a lot of different carriers, a lot of different distributors, a lot of different shingle companies, right? And so what happens, we're able to track those prices with our suppliers and so forth and so on. So we're going to get you the best price on the shingle that you want. Also, we're get the type of shingle that you need. There's a new shingle, well, not really new, but there's a shingle that insurance companies are really pushing. It's called impact resistant shingles. And so what that is that they're a little softer, and so they're able to take more of a pound, and they give more than your other shingles. Well, the great thing about that is that theoretically that's going to last you longer. That's going to give you more life to your shingle, especially here. That's going to take you to 2 or 3 storms. Well, your other shingles may last 1 storm. Okay. Also, your insurance company will potentially give you a discount. Okay, 20 to 30% off your homeowner rates. Now, sometimes they require you to do a cosmetic waiver, and you have to be careful with that. You got to judge if that's important to you or not important to you. Because if you get a cosmetic waiver, it means they won't replace your roof unless it actually gives, meaning they won't replace it until you actually have a physical leak. So you have to weigh that out. What's more important, and so forth and so on. But if you don't work with the contractor who understands that, you'll never get that offered. And right now, a lot of insurance companies, because again, they're tired of replacing roofs in Texas, will offer you that upgrade, and they will cover the cost of that upgrade. Why? Because for them, if I can get you through 2 or 3 storms, as an insurance company, that saves us money. So let's take that couple of $1,000 hits right now with this and prevent it from going on later on. So there's a lot of things. Again, hiring the right contractor is going to be so helpful for you as a consumer, because if you try to go cheap, you're going to get cheap. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to get cheap.
Yeah, like I think like we talked about before, like insurance companies also, if you don't work with the right contractor, and they don't know how to work with the insurance company, that can cost you as well. I mean,
Yep.
before you were talking about how it's getting more difficult to get your claim approved. Before the way they did it is it was so many hell hits within a certain area, and if they don't get that, then the insurance company's not going to cover that, and they're gradually increasing the
Oh,
amount
yeah.
of damage that they need
Mhm.
uh, for the insurance company to approve the claim, which
You
is
used to, and it used to be 1% was your deductible. Your homeowners was 1%. Now companies have gone to 2%. A few things that happen with the insurance company. I mentioned House Bill 2012, which requires you to pay your deductible. So they went to that process. Now they're going to a 2% deductible. Now they shorten the time frame of claim from 24 to potentially 12 in some cases. Also, what they're doing now is it used to be that they would come out and they would each insurance company would adjust to their scope. Okay, I mean they had a scope of loss. So to get your roof replaced, you'd have to have X amount of hits in a certain amount of radius. That didn't used to be a deal. Then they introduced it. It went from like 6 to 8 on a certain area.
Mhm.
Now companies are doing 8 to 11 hits in a
Wow.
certain area. So now you're telling me that if you got 8 hits on your roof on each side and it doesn't quote meet the requirements or the scope of work for that insurance company to replace it, you still got a damaged roof. Okay.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
if the
it's
insurance
damage. Yeah.
company comes out, and that's another reason to work with a contractor. If insurance company comes out and they get on your roof and they go, everything's fine, you're good to go. And if you're like, okay, fine. But if you have a contractor, your contractor can go, no, I don't agree with that. And you can ask for a reinspection. Every insurance company has a reinspection, automatic reinspection in their system. So if you and your contractor don't agree with the adjuster, and that's why it's really important to have your contractor out there the day of the adjustment, because what happens is we can talk to the adjusters. We can point out things that we see that could potentially be damaged. We can discuss with them, hey, what's covered, what's not covered. We can discuss with them what their supplement process is. And a lot of time your adjusters will tell you straight up, hey, what you need to do is this. They'll tell you exactly what you need to do. And it starts off a great partnership
Mhm.
as a homeowner because your insurance company, your contractor should both be working to make you whole.
Right.
So get us together. Let us have that conversation, figure that stuff out. And if there's issues, we can start addressing those issues then instead of waiting 2 months down the road and so forth. We can have those questions. If they deny your roof, now if they do an adjuster comes out and does an inspection, two things are going to happen. One, they're going to approve it, or two, they're going to deny it. If they deny it, your contractor knows how to set the process in motion to go for a reinspection. They may require an estimate. May require additional pictures. I mean, whatever they require, we can give that to them.
Well, a good contractor will know how to do
Right,
that.
right,
Right.
right, right.
Yeah, someone that knows what they're doing and that
Yeah.
knows how to do that. And again, if you have one of these guys that are from out of state just moving through, you may not get your roof done, right? Because
No, no, no.
that guy's there to do roofs and get out, right? He's not there to.
Exactly. So what happens if they deny it? There's a process to get your roof re-inspected and possibly get it bought down the road.
Mhm.
If I'm here from out of town or I'm just a fly by night company, there's a lot of fly by night companies. There's no need to continue with that. Look, there's too many other fishes. Let me go somewhere else. And so
That's right.
now they're going, well, what do I do now?
Right.
With the right contractor, they're going to help you from point A to point Z. They're going to try to make sure that they give you the roof because at the end of the day, if we make you happy as a client,
Mhm.
well, no, in 6 to 7 years, we're going to get you again because
Right.
we did such a good job. And that's what we have. Joe Hall, probably 70% of our clientele are repeat. Okay. And that says a lot about the quality of the company. Most people will do roof with one company, the next company they'll do another roof, next company another. No. We have people will tell. I have people I talk to. Yeah, you guys in my roof. This is my third roof with Joe Hall. That's a great thing. That's a
Right.
great feeling.
And that speaks volumes, man. So, all right, Kevin. So let's say, we did have some storms come through here, the last few days, but we also have some storms that we know that are definitely going to come through.
Yep.
How do, what's the inspection process if somebody wants to have their roof or that hasn't had their roof replaced in the last 12 months? What's the process? What do they do? How do they contact you?
What I would suggest is to, my contact information is down below scrolling. Joe Hall will be glad to take care of you. Or, if you want to contact somebody else, that's fine. I don't suggest it, but if you want to, that's great. But contact your contractor that you adjust and ask them, hey, I need to get my roof inspected. You should really get your roof inspected on a yearly basis. Okay. And right now is a great time to reach out.
What that cost?
It's free. Most for us, for Joe Hall, is free. Now, I'll also give you warning. If a company comes out and they want to charge you for inspection, I personally would walk away because there's so many companies out there. A free inspection is what they give you. That's incentive for them, for you to potentially choose them, is because it's a free inspection.
Right.
Okay? So take advantage of that free inspection. If you got the roof repair, especially with like Joe Hall, we offer annual inspections for all our past customers. So on your anniversary date, we start giving you a call. Hey, do you want us to come out and inspect, and so forth and so on? Do that. After every storm that goes through, I reach out to all my past clients. Hey, there are storms that went through. Do you need me to come inspect? And if they need me to come inspect, come out and inspect. If there's no damage, I'll tell you, we're good right now. If there's damage, we need to watch it. If your roof needs to be replaced, I'll tell you, your roof needs to be replaced. But have someone come out and look at it and give you their professional opinion on what needs to happen with your roof.
All right, absolutely. So, guys, if any of you guys out there that need an inspection, that haven't had your roof inspected in the last year, or that have some storms that come through and you need your roof inspected, I highly recommend Kevin. Man, he's a stand-up guy. He knows his stuff. Like you just heard, and Joe Hall Roofing. They're just an outstanding company. So, with that combination, man, I wouldn't. Other side, there you go.
That's right here. Yes, right. Here.
He's definitely a better, a better.
There it is.
Than a pointer. So
yeah, I got it. Yeah.
So I highly recommend these guys. And like I said, reach out. His information's at the bottom. You can give him a call or shoot him an email. I know he's always quick to respond. And like I said, I 100% highly recommend Joe Hall Roofing and definitely Kevin. He's a stand-up guy, known him for years, and I'll be comfortable sending him to referring them to anybody that I have that knows that I know that needs that type of assistance. So Kevin, hey man, thanks for coming on. We definitely appreciate the information. Listen, hopefully we can save some people from, having to pay more than they have to out of pocket, or getting their roof covered, or even getting scammed by the fly-by-night guys that come through here and taking people's money. And if anybody else, needs his assistance, man, give him a shout. Or if you know anybody, for sure, absolutely. Give him Kevin's name, and we definitely appreciate it, Kev. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for everybody that's watching now. And if you guys are watching later on YouTube, like, share, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate everybody coming through. Till next time. Thanks, guys.
All right, brother.
Later, man.